Kawasaki has had a long history of high horsepower, seriously fast motorcycles, beginning with the ZX-10 in 1988, the much heralded ZX-11 in 1990, the ZX-12R in 2000, the ZX-14 in 2006, and just last year Kawasaki released its crowning achievement, the ZX-14R. The main reason for the ZX-14R's existence is the Suzuki Hayabusa, which reigns supreme in the hypersport class since its debut in 1999. The Hayabusa's combination of monster horsepower and torque enabled it to remain at the top of the class until the ZX-14R appeared on the scene. When Kawasaki's engineers were designing the ZX-14R, their sole mission was to design the most powerful production motorcycle in the world and take down the Hayabusa once and for all. The result is a motorcycle that puts out 184 horsepower at the rear wheel and 109 foot-pounds of torque. A bike that basically leaves the Hayabusa in its dust. In stock form, the Kawasaki has already been setting the bar at a whole new level at the drag strip. In our testing with the stock ZX-14R, we were able to achieve 9.7 second quarter miles. So we wanted to find out if we could get the bike into the low 9s and possibly into the 8-second bracket with just a few simple bolt-on modifications. First, we're going to head down to Kawasaki and meet up with our buddy Joey Lombardo.
I'm Joey Lombardo. I'm a product support technician for Kawasaki.
He's going to help us install these bolt-on performance parts. For those modifications, we sought out well-known speed shop Brock's Performance in Dayton, Ohio. They sell a complete drag race kit for the ZX-14R, which consists of a full exhaust system, a Power Commander fuel tuning module, fully adjustable rear suspension lowering links, a front-end strap-down kit, and a clutch modification kit.
When Kent approached me with the idea of going drag racing, I was excited because I don't get to do that very often, and anytime I can get to the racetrack, I'm super pumped. Before we get started, we're going to remove all the bodywork and take the exhaust system off. The first thing we're going to install is the Power Commander.
This unit allows you complete control over the fuel tuning curve, and the added bonus is that this Power Commander comes pre-mapped with whatever parameters you provide.
After that, we'll put the Brock's exhaust system on.
By replacing the stock exhaust with the Brock's Alien Head 2 full exhaust system, we not only gain increased flow for more horsepower, but we also jettison a ton of excess weight.
And then we're going to lower the bike. We'll start in the rear by removing the stock linkage pull rods and installing Brock's fully adjustable lowering linkage. From there, we'll move to the front of the bike, where we'll run the fork tube through and use the lowering strap to fully compress the front end. In addition to all these modifications we just did, since we're going to a closed course test, we've installed a flashed ECU.
It provides numerous benefits, including a 500 RPM higher rev limit and improved mid-range throttle response.
This should give us all the extra horsepower we need at the racetrack.
With all the modifications fully installed, it's time to head up to Auto Club Famoso Raceway in Bakersfield, California, to see if we can achieve our ultimate goal of sneaking into the 8-second bracket.
You know, getting into the 8s is a tall order. Before we came here, I ran this thing on the dyno. Stock that makes 193 horsepower. With all these bolt-on goodies, it now makes 204 horsepower with 119 foot-pounds of torque.
I've been at the drag strip with the stock ZX-14R, but not in lowered form with performance modifications like these. This is definitely an experience I'm looking forward to.
I'm really excited to see how close Kent can get to the mark. Kent's getting ready to do his first run. The bike seems to be running fine. He should be able to get in the mid-9s right away. After watching Kent's first couple of runs, it seems the launch characteristics are quite a bit different from OEM settings. It could be caused by the reflashed ECU.
The problem is that there's a fine line between the combination of clutch and throttle in order to achieve maximum thrust off the line without bringing the front end too far off the ground. This makes starts much more difficult to accomplish cleanly. So I was hitting a wall at 9.2 second ETs. So I decided to confer with Joey and see if maybe dropping the gearing another tooth in the rear would allow me to launch harder and possibly get a better 60-foot time. Before we changed the gearing, one of the things I tried was to turn off the traction control, but that only resulted in the tires spinning off the line and causing the bike to veer off to the right, ruining the run.
After a handful of runs, the first major modification we made was to change the gearing from a 41-tooth rear sprocket to a 40-tooth rear sprocket to hopefully help Kent launch the bike a little bit easier.
By changing to the 40-tooth rear sprocket, we were hoping to improve traction off the line and improve the 60-foot time, thereby improving our overall ET. Unfortunately, the gearing change didn't result in an improvement in our 60-foot times. I was still hitting a wall at 9.2 second ETs. After 25 or so runs, it was becoming apparent that breaking into the 8-second bracket was going to require more than we had on hand. It was disappointing.
Still, the stock bike with just a few bolt-ons doing 9.2s consistently is pretty impressive.
So I guess our quest to sneak into the 8-second bracket is to be continued. It's obvious we're knocking on the door, so we're going to try a few more modifications to see what it's going to take to get us there.